So what happens when a group of university engineering students decides to take on environmental education for an entire community? Well, you get something pretty incredible called the SKAL project. This whole program, Sekolah Angkat dan Kampu Angkat Lestari, is just this amazing blueprint for how a student-led idea can create a massive, and I mean massive, impact. The question is, how on earth did they do it? Let's dive in.
And right off the bat, the scale here is just wow. We're talking about reaching over 3,000 school students in a single week. Trying to engage that many young minds is a huge challenge, and that number right there tells you just how ambitious this story really is. So to really get how they pulled this off, we're going to walk through their game plan step by step. We'll kick things off with the mission that got it all started, then we'll get into the nitty-gritty of their master plan. After that, we'll see their ideas come to life, check out the actual data to see if it worked, and then wrap up with what they learned for next time.
All right, first up, a mission for sustainability. So, what was the big idea behind all this? Well, the SEKAL project was really born out of this urgent feeling that to tackle Malaysia's environmental challenges, you've got to start with the youngest generation. And the answer came from these chemical engineering students at UITM. They created the SEKAL program, a community outreach initiative with two really clear goals. First, just raise environmental awareness in general. And second, bring those STEAM concepts, science, technology, engineering, art, and math, out of the dusty old textbooks and actually put them into kids' hands. Now, the problem they were trying to solve is, let's be honest, a pretty common one. Sitting in a classroom and just listening can only take you so far. There was this huge gap when it came to sustainability awareness and a real need for education that was fun, interactive, and totally hands-on. So, this mission got broken down into 4 key objectives. First, boost STEAM literacy for all 3,000+ students. Second, they wanted to weave sustainable habits into the school's actual culture, making it an everyday thing. Third, they wanted to give students real, practical skills, like how to manage waste properly. And finally, they wanted to connect all this learning to the real world, showing students what kind of careers are out there in these fields. It was a really complete vision. Okay, so they had the why, but what about the how? Let's go behind the scenes and look at the awesome student-led engine that took this project from just an idea to a full-blown reality. And check out this timeline, because it shows just how fast this team was moving. We're talking about a month-long sprint, from the first meeting in early October to the final preparations in mid-November. They had to organize with the school, handle all the official paperwork, and get every single thing ready to go in just a few weeks. No pressure, right? To make it happen, they had these super efficient core teams. The program bureau, they were like the creative architects, designing all 9 of the STEAM activities. Then you had the technical and logistics team, the on-the-ground crew making sure the PA systems worked and all 13 venues were set up perfectly. And then the Special Duties Bureau, they were the absolute backbone, finding and prepping every single item needed for the students. It was like a well-oiled machine. And this wasn't just some casual plan, This, quote, pulled right from their meeting minutes, shows you the level of detail they were working with. A simple sentence like this one actually represents a huge logistical effort. It just goes to show how every single task was clearly assigned so nothing could fall through the cracks. And here they are. This is the powerhouse team of 79 student facilitators and lecturers who brought this whole thing to life. It's one thing to talk about plans and numbers, but it's another thing to see the actual faces of the people who poured their time and energy into making it happen. Okay, so the plan is locked in, the team is ready. Now for the really fun part, bringing STEAM to life. This is where we see all that careful planning explode into a week of discovery for the students. The program had this awesome mix of learning styles going on. So in one classroom, you had lecturers giving these great talks on stuff like waste management. And then right next door, you've got students hands in the air, totally into these interactive quizzes. It was that mix of expert advice and active, fun participation that really made the lessons stick. And the hands-on stuff was where the magic really happened. You can see the Program Bureau's ideas in full swing here, made possible because the Special Duties Bureau got them all the supplies they needed. Activities like cutie caps turned old plastic bottle caps into cool art, teaching creative recycling. At the same time, bio keychain sessions showed kids how to turn other junk into something new. This is exactly how you make a big idea like sustainability feel real and fun. But it wasn't just about recycling bottle caps, right? The program also connected these activities to the future. This exhibition, A Step into Oil and Gas, was all about showing students how sustainability plays a role in big industries and what a career in that world could actually look like. This hit that fourth objective right on the head.
So the planning was brilliant. The activities looked amazing. But here's the million-dollar question. Did any of it actually work? Did it make a real difference? Let's dig into the data and measure the true impact.
The results for the older students are honestly just mind-blowing. Check this out. Before the career talk, only 16% of them even knew about careers in chemical engineering. After that one talk, that number rocketed to 70%, saying they were now more interested in a science and tech career. That is a huge shift in perspective.
And the effect on the younger students was just as big. For almost 1,800 of them, surveys showed this major positive shift in 3 key areas. They didn't just gain more knowledge about waste, their whole attitude about sustainability changed. And maybe most importantly, so did their intended behavior, what they actually planned to do differently from that day on. All right, so let's be real. No project this huge goes off without a hitch. A really important part of the whole process is looking back, seeing what the challenges were, and figuring out what could be done better. So let's wrap up with the team's reflections and their plan for the road ahead. And the team was super honest about the hurdles. That super fast timeline made it tough to get sponsorships, and trying to recruit volunteers right in the middle of midterms was a real headache. But the lessons they learned were priceless. Next time, advanced planning is an absolute must, and you have to schedule these things so they don't clash with the academic calendar.
In the end, the SEKAL project is so much more than just a successful event. It's a powerful blueprint that shows us what's possible when passionate students get the support they need to lead. It really leaves us with a big question to think about. What is the true power of student-led collaboration when it comes to shaping a better, more sustainable future for all of us?